voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the landing party. I'm your Captain Graham Nolan, and the Captain's Log tonight, Stardate 2408.07, Arena. Teleplay by Gene L. Kuhn and story by Frederick Brown. We'll get into that in a little bit because there's a bit of a story there. Directed by Joseph Pevney, who is tied with Mark Daniels for directing the most Star Trek episodes at 14 each. Cestus 3 has been destroyed. I love that line. That classic line ends an excellent opening teaser and gets the story of invasion, or is it unintentional encroachment, underway. Gene L. Kuhn has been spending so much time rewriting other scripts, he hadn't any time to submit ideas of his own. After 2 months on the job, it occurred to him it may be less work if he contributed his own original material. He sent off his outline for Arena to NBC, who loved it. Desilu loved it. The problem was it had the same title and plot of a short story by Frederick Brown that appeared in Astounding magazine in 1944. Embarrassment. Desilu Legal wasted no time contacting Brown's agent to purchase the rights rather than wait to be sued. Kuhn was an excellent writer and didn't intentionally rip off the idea. It was a subconscious plagiarism which can happen in any creative field, from deep-seated forgotten memories. This stuff happens, there's things that you think about and you think it's an original idea, but it's something you heard or something you read or something you saw many years ago. And I think that was the case here because Kuhn really was a creative guy. Under Kuhn's guidance, Star Trek was becoming more fast-paced and with more character-driven humor at this point. Now, there's a few interesting tidbits in this episode. This is the first episode to refer to Earth's Space Alliance as the Federation. By the time A Taste of Armageddon got around to filming, it would be locked in as the United Federation of Planets. Introduction of the photon torpedoes. Both of these contributions and more that are going to come down the line as we go in through this first season come from Gene Kuhn. It's the first reference to Starfleet. The explosions on Cestus 3 caused permanent ear damage to both Shatner and Nimoy. They both suffered from tinnitus the rest of their lives as a result. Ted Cassidy, who we all know as Lurch from the Addams Family, provides the voice of the Gorn. He was also the voice of Baylock in the Corbomite Maneuver, the very first regular season episode filmed. And he played Rock in What Are Little Girls Made Of? Love that character. He was so... the actor's like 7'2" or something like that. And then they padded him up. He was just gigantic and very, very imposing in that episode. Sean Kenny makes his first appearance as Helmsman DePaul. Because of his resemblance to Jeffrey Hunter, he previously played the injured Captain Pike in The Menagerie. That's the guy. We all remember him from that. And this was something I noticed is very interesting, in that when Kirk is transported to the Arena, his high heel boots are replaced with short, flat, laced boots. most likely to allow Shatner more safety to safely run around Vasquez Rocks. His regular boots returned when he transported back to the ship. When they were filming those sequences at Vasquez Rocks too, it was very cold. For some reason, I guess I don't know if it's a high desert there because I'm not familiar with California. Maybe Anna can tell us about that. But it was very cold, and he had long johns underneath it, and you can see where the pants flare out, sort of like a bell bottom, up around his calves. Typically, there's a long boot that goes all the way down, and it's a heeled boot. But it's a short boot, and so that distance between the flare is like a black long john, and it's very evident in a lot of scenes. And the boot is laced, so it's kind of wild to see. So anyway, that is our captain's log for tonight. Let's bring in the landing party, and we'll start with the California girl who knows Vasquez Rocks. That's Star Trek girl Anna.
Yeah, I fixed my name. What's up? Yeah.
Hey.
And also, I wanted to show you this. I have a Gorn muffin.
Oh, a Gorn muffin. That is very
amazing?
Cool.
It's so cute. Apparently, they made other
cool.
ones, but this was a birthday present. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
That is very, very cool. I don't have one of those, and I bet this guy doesn't have one either.
I don't. And I'm instantly jealous. Is that like an actual muffin you eat, or is it a toy?
No, it's like a. I'm sure it's the people that made Pops.
Is it a Funko?
It doesn't say Funko on here. It's with 0 calories. It
says Fun Edibles. It must be real.
It's a vinyl figure collector's guilty pleasure with 0 calories. It's a Gorn bread muffin.
When you squeeze it, does it go? I will be merciful and.
I've never opened it, but like you can see it's plastic.
Yes. Okay. Oh, Graham.
Yes.
I filmed at Vasquez Rocks a film when I was in film school, so I know all about Vasquez Rocks.
Oh my gosh, can we watch it?
It's on I have never got it transferred. It's on 16 millimeter. I have to get it transferred.
Wow.
Chat. Let's crowdfund it. Wait, what's your next milestone on your comic?
IGG.
Exactly.
If Kit Carter gets to what, like 200K, you got to release.
That's right. Then I'll exactly.
And the last but not least, member, Mr. Ron Garney.
You should have just waited another half hour to bring me on.
That's not a problem.
Later. All right. I'll leave.
He was halfway out the door, man.
He was. He was already pouring another one of those whiskeys.
Right.
Oh, man.
The first thing I thought of when I saw that muffin was, our brains were all Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, but first thing I thought of is if, she had her baby and she wakes up one night thinking it's nursing off her, and it's that thing.
Oh, my God.
It's alive.
Get it off. Oh my God. Hey. Peaches, take it off.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that movie, It's Alive?
Yeah.
About that baby and then
the hook hand and
umbilical cord.
Scary looking little creature. Man.
Yeah, with that claw hand or whatever.
Yeah.
The 70s, baby.
That freaking me out when I was a kid.
It was a cool movie too, like that. Did you ever see Cat's Eye? Stephen King movie.
Oh, that's a Stephen King, yeah.
That little, actually, that's what that really reminds me of. The Gorn thing reminds me of the little gremlin that was living in the girl's wall. You never saw that movie?
What about
Cat's Eye? And then the cat ends up fighting it on top of the girl's chest.
Oh, wow. Because there's another movie from the 70s about these creatures that live in the wall.
Yeah, that was with Kim Darby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
What was that called? Do you remember?
The creatures that live in the wall or something.
I don't think so.
Rated R.
Something like that. No, it really was something like that. Let me
3 times.
to pull that up.
Oh my gosh.
Apparently, there's a Kirk and Spock Gorn muffin too. Here, I'm sharing my. I didn't know this was given to me as a present. I just looked this up. Let's see.
I want one now.
So
Send me
Captain
one for
Cup,
Christmas when you're not celebrating Christmas.
Captain Cupster,
Oh,
cornbread
either,
muffin, and Spock tart.
I get it.
Yep.
They're like they're like little muffin.
Yeah, they're like in
Yeah.
cupcake
I
things.
got it. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
that's so cute.
It goes right on that. Do you have room back there for any of that? Any more toys? Yeah, that's what I thought. You're gonna have to.
I haven't even put them all up yet ever since I
you're gonna-
moved everything.
You're gonna have to make some tough decisions, young lady, and get rid of. Some
I
stuff.
switch them out. I rotate out my displays
okay.
different
Good.
seasons or different years and stuff.
Good thinking.
I still haven't put it up. It'll eventually get filled.
She's actually still She was working up until 2017 in this movie called The Evil Within.
You talking about Kim Darby?
Kim Darby, yeah.
Oh,
You got to connect the dots, Graham.
yeah. Okay.
It won't show me the rest of her.
Well, she evidently was a pain in the ass for the director of Star Trek when she was in Miri.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I wonder how she was with John Wayne.
Yeah, and True Grit.
In True Grit.
Everybody was too busy just shaking their head at Glenn Campbell's performance that they didn't even notice Kim Darby. Oh,
And the Duke wasn't going to put up with any shit from anybody. So.
No, my goodness. So
was she a pain in the ass?
The director just said she was, very emotional.
Well, it's not a good enough reason to.
Maybe she actually was going through puberty.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, having actually filmed at Vasquez for like a couple weeks, freezing in the morning, absolutely freezing. I was in I had long underwear on underneath, and then by noon you're peeling everything off because it's got super hot. So, but
is that like in the high country? Is that like the desert area? Because
you're getting into the desert. Like you get on the Antelope Valley Highway, which is probably I guess it's farther north than Glendale, but it's like east of where's CalArts at? Somebody help me.
Yeah,
Valencia. Is it
yeah,
Valencia?
Valencia.
So it's like east of Valencia, and like you're heading out to the Devil's Punch Bowl, which is like way into the the desert area. And so yeah, you're up there in kind of this kind of for California mountainous region, so it's up higher. Fantastic park, so cool with all those jagged rocks and stuff. And you think of all the things that have been filmed there.
Oh,
I remember when I was setting up shots going, this is where they had that fake Gorn tree, was right here where Kirk tried to break the little twig off.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I wanted to do like a cosplay photo shoot out there with all my Star Trek stuff. And my photographer apparently has had problems shooting there because there's so many people now that just go there to take pictures that they actually have like the marshals driving around, and they'll fine you a huge fine if you don't have like a permit to take a photo there.
California is like, even back when I was in school, it's like you had to get a permit to just do anything.
I know.
Crazy.
Wow. So. Well, that's why guys like those, guerrilla filmmakers, would shoot shit. And then when they see the cops, everybody would grab their stuff and run.
And run. That's exactly right, man. We did a little bit of that.
The movie was called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I remember that. Yes.
That's it. But what was the one Richard Matheson wrote?
With Karen Allen that had the little Indian guy with the knife?
Not Karen Allen.
No, Karen Black. Karen Black. That was a Trilogy of Terror.
Trilogy of Terror. Yep.
Yeah.
And that. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 different.
That was a great one.
Yeah, that last
she's around the apartment, and she puts it in the luggage, and you hear it giggling as it's sawing its way through the luggage with a knife.
Yeah. And then at the end, when she calls her mom to come over, and then she smiles, and she's got the same teeth as the Zuni doll. That was really cool.
Man, it's like Thanksgiving at Anna's place. It's just scary.
Did you ever see that one, Anna?
Which one?
Talking about the
Trilogy of
Terror.
No.
That's a classic 70s, 80s ABC movie of the week. I remember.
Yeah, that was a scary movie for a TV movie.
Yeah.
I remember watching it when the first night it was shown. It was crazy.
I'm a scaredy cat, so I didn't watch a lot of horror movies.
Okay.
I
Good
only
story,
recently
though.
saw
She finds
Psycho
it as a gift that she puts it down on the thing. The chain comes off.
Yeah, right.
Just holds the spirit in, and then she comes out and it's gone. And then she starts getting stabbed from under the couch with a knife and everything.
Yeah.
Tiny little knife, but it's like
Yeah, it's like that little Gorn thing you have. Be careful. If you go in there and the box is empty, you're going to be like, oh no.
Where is he?
I'll love it.
That era of between 1971 and 1974, there was a lot of great TV horror that was coming out. Dan Curtis is producing a bunch of stuff. He did Dracula with Jack Palance. He did the Palance again in Jekyll and Hyde. There was Frankenstein, The True Story. Trilogy of
I love that era of movies. The Hammer films with Christopher Lee and everything. And just the whole era back then was great.
That was a really, really great era, especially
like the Grave of the Vampire with William Smith and Michael Pataki.
Oh,
I've seen that.
Yeah.
He plays it opens up with this couple in a cemetery and they're making out and stuff in the car and everything. And all of a sudden this vampire yanks them both out and he picks the guy up and breaks his back over a tombstone thing and sucks his blood, and then he drags the girl into a crypt and he rapes her.
Yeah, that was the opening.
Yeah. And she ends up having his kid, played by William Smith. Now, I don't know if you know who William Smith is, but he's in Any Which Way You Can with Clint Eastwood. He played the big Jack dude he fought.
Yeah.
Any Which Way But Loose.
He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So he played a bodybuilder kid.
Also the little boy in The Ghost of Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, because it was that Clint Eastwood movie. It was the sequel. Was it Every Which Way But Loose or Any Which Way You Can? Was it the first one? It was the first one.
Every Which Way You Can was the second one, I think.
Yeah.
That's the one he was in because he fought the old guy in the first one.
Right.
And let him win.
The second one he fought Clint Eastwood.
Hey, speaking of that, I was at Albert Moyes at San Diego. He had the Bob Peak movie poster art from that film.
Really?
$15K, which I thought was pretty reasonable.
The actual art?
It was like
the actual painted Bob Peak piece.
What was the medium? Was it oils or what was it?
Looked like to me. I mean, it's very thin, but that's what it looked like to me. But it was he wanted $15K for it. There was Barry Smith Conan pages that were more expensive. Wow. Now, I didn't have $15K, but I thought for a Bob Peak original.
Yeah, but this generation doesn't know any better.
I know, but we do.
All they know about movie posters from this generation is photographs.
True,
basically.
No, when I was a kid, Ralph McQuarrie, or not Ralph McQuarrie, what's his name? Drew Starzan was still making Star Wars posters.
Ralph McQuarrie did some great stuff. I used to love the preliminary art he did for that.
Yeah. Didn't he? He used to work for Bowen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had some talented guys working on Star Wars, that's for sure.
So what's going on with the Gorn?
Here's the question.
Let's talk about some talented guys.
The episode. Let's talk about the episode.
Let me throw this out first. What did you guys think of the Gorn costume itself? I really liked it. I thought for a TV, I thought it was pretty good. I liked
it. Back then on TV?
Yeah.
If you put yourself in 1967, when this thing was on TV, you got to say that this is pretty cool. Hua Chang designed this thing, and except for maybe when you're watching it in a 4K TV like I did today, and you can see like where the ankle joint was. Other than that, it was really great.
I loved it.
I always wondered what they made the eyes out of, those like silvery looking crystals.
Yeah.
And in the digital one, they added the blink.
And why the hell does he need a garment on him?
He's got that like Flintstones kind of like.
Is he hiding like lizard Gorn genitals or something?
Yeah, well, of course.
I think he's hiding lizard Gorn zippers.
Yeah.
They can't even like.
That was the only area the actor didn't want covered.
I found when I was at the con where I met Shatner, there was this guy cosplaying as a Gorn, and even he can't get it as good as they did back then.
It was just,
Did you guys see that television commercial that Shatner did
Yeah,
with the Gorn?
playing video games.
Yeah, and he
Oh,
goes through the fight and hits he gets the rib shot and
yeah.
the-
And then they get tired and have to rest because
yeah, because they're so old.
Never
You
saw
haven't
it.
seen that?
You never saw that, Ron?
Check it out on YouTube, Ron. It's incredible. You'll laugh your head off.
Shit, when did it come out?
Just a few years ago.
Yeah,
It was recent.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
promoting like a video game, and they're sitting there on the couch. The Gorn and Kirk are playing the video game, and then they start fighting. And the music starts, and
Wow.
it's good. Good stuff. I love this episode, you guys. I'm not going to even hide my my joy of getting to watch this one again.
I'm probably going to get struck, but we're
You're
going
gonna
to
play it.
Oh, you're going to
Yeah.
play it? Okay.
You can
Here we
edit
go.
it out.
Yeah, just put music over it or something.
The music's part of it, though, man.
All right. Is it up on the screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Make it full screen. There we go. Here.
You keep getting me killed. I thought you had your back. Oh, not again.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Hold on.
He's like 90.
I love the music.
We're both too old for this kind of thing.
Yeah, whatever. There, shit.
Yeah, those Gorns in the later are a lot quicker.
Oh, that was funny.
Wasn't it great? I love the self-effacing humor in that.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing about it. It was at that time, like it reminded me of the first Night of the Living Dead. Like it was they learned over time to make the zombies actually able to run at you because it made it a lot scarier instead of just walking like this where you could just outrun them indefinitely. The Gorn was kind of like that. He was so lumbering and slow. It just didn't seem like as much of a threat as it could have been, other than his strength.
Yeah. Well, they injured Kirk with the rock and the whole. They didn't really explain it good enough, but the whole idea was to slow him down to the point where he couldn't outrun the Gorn anymore when the rock hits and damages his leg.
It's funny because when he's laying there and he's moving, you see the rock moving with his
I
leg.
know that paper mache.
Oh, yeah.
If a rock that
Like
big,
all you had to do was go like this with the rock.
if the rock that big had landed on you, it had crushed his legs.
Oh, yeah.
Shatner lifts up his rock and it's like, this big, and he
Yeah.
throws it down and bounces off his chest. That was pretty good. And then he picks up this gigantic, and Gorn picks up that gigantic boulder and throws it like it's a baseball.
Yeah. Kirk picks up that good sized rock and he like throws it at
Right
him.
off his
It
chest.
bounces off his chest. Then he picks up a fucking boulder.
And he throws it like it's, like a baseball or something. And Kirk has to sidestep it because it comes so fast.
Yeah.
I also there's only a couple things this episode I didn't like, and the one part I didn't like is when he climbed up on the way up high on the pointed rock, and there was that big boulder up there, and he pushed it. I was like, "There's no way you're pushing that rock with about like 10 other guys to help you." But
it was teetering right on the edge. So
no, it was about 4 or 5 feet off the edge, and he was like, "Ugh."
Wasn't it circular? Yeah, I mean, I guess, probably not.
My favorite part of this episode is actually before he meets the Gorn. I love all the buildup. Where they're on the ship and Spock is like, maybe there's another way, and Kirk is like, no, it means invasion, and we're gonna, we're gonna deal with this guy, and Kirk is so adamant about it. At the one point, he stands up and he walks around his chair and he says to Spock, basically tells him, that, this is what we're doing. And is that
Crime
clear?
has been committed. We're the only policemen in the galaxy.
Yeah.
That crime has been committed. Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is that clear, Mr. Spock? Very clear, Captain. I'm glad. Or he
I'm
says something like
delighted.
that.
He goes,
Yeah.
I'm delighted.
I'm delighted. And then he walks away. It's like,
Mhm.
that's fucking Kirk right there.
Right.
Always in charge.
Even
Yeah.
with his friends, when his friends go too far, he's like,
Yep. He cuts him off.
yep.
Yeah, because he's still the leader, and he bears that burden. And I mean, that's one of the greatest things I love about this show and about that character. And it was so inspirational to me as a young boy. Ron and I talked about this a while back, that that character was so great and inspirational. If you're looking for a father figure,
Aw, poor Ron.
It's all good, man.
No, it just makes
no, I'm talking about me too.
you.
It
It just makes me think of the real William Shatner and his response.
Oh,
Yeah, that went well. Look, man, that was just that was a once in a lifetime thing, though. I'm actually happy.
You know what? He's so old. Maybe you can meet him again and he won't remember you.
Well, it's funny is I actually thought, like, I wonder if he watches Entertainment Tonight or anything, because I was doing an interview with Matt Kemp, myself, and Keanu on there, and I brought it up because they asked us if any other stars knew about Berserker, and I said, well, I tried to tell William Shatner about it.
Oh no!
And they popped his face up on the screen, like a full shot of William Shatner,
Well, somebody told him.
Yeah, and then they were like, oh, tell us. I'm like, well, no, that's a whole nother story, and everybody laughed, and we moved on to something else.
Did you tell Keanu about it?
Yeah, I told. What's funny is I was at the con right before we were in the back green room area waiting to go on stage, and he got there right as I was finishing the story, telling the whole table of people, and they were literally crying, laughing. Everybody, I was imitating the whole thing. And he's like, "What's so funny?" Canada goes, "What's so funny?" And I said, "I'll tell you at dinner. It's just freaking hilarious." I never got to tell him because we got distracted about it.
Like, here's my soul shattering moment meeting William Shatner.
Yeah, it was just more the separation of the character from the actor. That's really what it was. It was a wake up that he's not that. So, but
well, the thing is, though, Ron, you have now worked your way into comic book lore. This story about you meeting Shatner is going to be told for decades to come.
It's golden.
It is.
It is. I know. It's fucking hilarious.
You know what? If it does get back,
I would love to recreate it on a film or something.
Just
how fucking surreal it was. Just because, and I could see the camera shot from way back, and you see this, really exaggerate the size of the back of the convention center where there's just cement walls and nothing else, and this one little curtained off area with me and him just standing there.
He's
in the middle of nowhere, and him just
and they should play the Gorn music.
Yeah. That's the only thing that was missing is me having the Gorn hat on, mask on or something.
Oh God, that'd have been great. Oh.
Well, maybe this will get back to him, and he'll feel so bad he'll grant you a private meeting or dinner.
Horror on his face when I was there.
You might as well been the Gorn
because the guy just left us there.
He's going to be here at a show in Buffalo sometime coming up soon. I should go to it. I should buy a ticket.
Yeah, and then have them do the same thing at that show. Have the promoters do the same thing when he's in the back. Send me in. So
yeah. And I'll just go in. I'll go, you fucked Ron Garney, man.
You gotta go in and go, you don't know who Ron Garney is?
Yeah, you don't know.
Let him sit on the couch.
You're sitting in front of me? Do you know who I am? Oh, that'd be so funny.
Or you know what I'll do? I'll have them set up his little area, and I'll go sit on the couch when he'll be sitting there.
Yeah.
Hello, Bill.
I'll be like,
Remember me?
you're not going to come sit in the chair, are you? That would really fuck him up.
Oh yeah.
You don't say.
Something like
Probably
that.
wouldn't remember.
Something like that has got to happen.
Yeah.
It's got to happen just to, really cement how fucked up.
Hey, let me grab America by the Pussy for $5.
Russell Hall.
That's Russell. Oh, yeah, I see the
Okay.
mustache. It's almost like it was a tactical mistake to attempt grappling with the Gorn in the first place. Fortunately, let him go instead of ripping him apart. And then it was also interesting that Kirk decided to skip over knives, spears, and bows on the technological ladder and move straight into the gunpowder age. I wondered about that too, about creating a bow like he did in that second season episode with
the hi-hats.
Yeah, the hi-hat guys.
I think maybe he was concerned that like it wouldn't pierce through the Gorn's skin.
Yeah, maybe. Because in the original script there was a scene where he took a spear and like he stabbed him, and NBC bitched about that, said that it was too much.
Graphic.
Yeah, too graphic. And
But teaching children how to make gunpowder.
Yeah, well, some of the stuff that they bit, like, I can't believe some of the things that like NBC was complaining about, like when the Metrons stop the ships, they're going at like warp 7 or warp 8 or something like that, and they just stop them in space. And in the script, they were all supposed to fall forward and all that kind of stuff. And be sure that there's no injuries that make it too violent an episode for our viewing public.
Don't fall down too hard when they stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really weird to me that they're like thinking that how gentle the viewing public was,
Yeah, times have changed. I kind of look at that and I just felt like he was seeing mineral and deposits all over the place from the very get-go. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of feel like, that was distracting him enough that it got his mind working on that angle. Like they had to be there for a reason. And that's why he went that direction. But,
Yeah. But I like how Spock is like, 8,000 miles away looking on a screen. And he sees white powder and he goes, oh, that's, sodium chloride or whatever. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. How do you know?
He's like, cool, doctor, cool.
Coal just now you can just find a deposit of coal or ordinary charcoal.
I know.
Yeah.
Like the Metrons knew exactly how to build that freaking thing. But it would have been funny as if they did it like Jaws, like they put a tank there, like a gas tank, and he shoots the Gorn and he blows up into a million pieces.
Well, they could have done that, with this little mini cannon, and just blew the shit out of him.
Yeah, well, he shot him with a freaking diamond, though.
Yeah, a bunch of diamonds.
A slew of diamonds.
Yeah. So that would have went right through him. I mean, it was the hardest substance,
Did you guys notice that in the digital, the ones they redid in the 90s, they actually put the diamonds sticking in him where it wasn't there in the original episode? That was a nice little.
So that wasn't in the original. The diamonds.
No, he had nothing on him in the original episode, and then those diamonds were stuck in there.
And there's blood too.
Yeah.
And like when Kirk takes that obsidian point and puts it on him, and he decides he's not going to kill him, and he brings it back out, and he tells the Metron, the tip of it's red.
Really?
Yeah.
So he actually punctured it a little bit, or was it just from?
Yeah, maybe
just from
maybe
the time
putting it towards an open wound, and he was going to jam it through.
He still should have done it. Fuck him.
Yeah, and in the original script, the Metrons admit that they were going to kill the winners as well.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes.
I know. That's I noticed that at the end. I was like, yeah, he just basically said that I will spare your life because you won. I'll spare you because you showed mercy. I will spare your life. You're like, wait a minute, he won, so you were going to spare him anyway, weren't you? Can't.
Yeah, no. And you remember in the Star Trek books that James Blish wrote?
Yeah.
Well, Blish was working off the original scripts because those things hadn't aired when he was writing those books, and that is in the arena version about how the Metrons were going to actually kill the winner.
I don't want to go to their
Wow.
sector of space.
You
They're not
can't-
very
dude,
nice.
You know what? The Metrons need to get their asses kicked. They're freaking. I mean, just
Well, between the Organians and
well,
the
they should have been. You know, that's what needed to happen. Is the Organians need to step in and kick the Metrons' butts
yeah.
just for misleading the, putting them through that. That's
And I always thought that Metron was
It's
freaky
sadistic.
looking.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it was a woman,
well,
right?
Yeah, and it was a woman.
I still can't believe that that's a girl.
Yeah.
My
what did
whole
we
life
say?
I thought
We
it was a
talked
boy.
about that last week. What did we say? I saying he looked like somebody. We were joking about it.
Yeah.
What did we
The actress name is Carol somebody.
She's
And-
very androgynous.
Yes, and that's what they used to do. Like they did that in the Cage too. They had women playing the
butt heads.
the butt heads. But in this one, they had a girl playing him, but then they had Vic what's his name, Vic Perrin, the voice of the Outer
I
Limits.
think it was
The voice.
it was that boxer who just kicked the shit out of that girl in the Olympics. I think it was his mother.
Oh.
Oh, that's good. That was a good one.
Mm.
The only thing that bugged me about this episode, honestly, I mean, the rock thing, I always kind of laughed about that Kirk rolling that rock up the hill and off. But other than that was the fact that we never got to see the Gorn ship. And to
Right.
me, it was such we don't have the budget to do a Gorn ship. So he's out of range. We can't see him. I'm like, how the heck can you shoot phasers at something that's out of range? You can't
Because
see
it's,
the visual?
it's like a sonar. I mean, you just know, the ship's advanced enough that
Like the targeting computer.
you know where it is.
Well, no.
I never minded.
It's so far away that you can't get a visual on it. Would the phasers go that far? I mean, I guess they would.
Oh, sure. I mean,
I would-
even modern day weapons.
Lasers are energy and light. I mean, it's not-
missiles.
Yeah, it would just go forever. But
Well,
I just
not
always
forever,
felt
but-
like that was an obvious clue that they didn't have the budget to do a Gorn ship, so they kind of wrote it that way, which sort of annoyed me. But that's the only thing.
I don't know. I don't mind stuff like that as much sometimes because it adds to the mystery, in a way. I mean, the same way they didn't show, again, to bring up Jaws, they didn't show the shark. Just made it more interesting. But I mean, there were other episodes too where they had to cut that. What was the Andorian ship? It was just like this spinning
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
It looked like it was.
Odd. The
Yeah,
extreme
but
odd.
at least they showed something.
Journey
You know,
to
it wasn't
Babel.
great, but it was.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when they got up to, he gets this warning. They made such a big deal when he goes to warp 7. It'd have been a nice touch if they'd shook the ship a little bit, so it felt a little bit more like he was really pushing it. But you never had that, right? It was like he goes to warp 8. Everybody's freaking out. Oh my gosh, warp 8. But then we have that cut, like that you show the Enterprise going through space. Then we cut back to the bridge and everybody's sort of calm. And they're like, he's slowing down. And then we've got him. I'm like, you guys are going warp 8 right now. And you think you're going to die. And suddenly you forgot about that. That would have been nice if they kind of played that up a little bit.
There was a company that Roddenberry used, DeForest something.
Kelly.
No. But they used these guys were they're the ones that would check the science and everything and the physics and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things, the notes that came back on this is when the Metron stopped the ship when it's going warp 7, the bodies of everybody on there would continue to pass through the ship at warp 7.
Right out into space. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess you take a few liberties here and there. I mean, and like if you're in space going that fast, I'm sure the ship wouldn't be shaking. But
Right, because there's no atmosphere.
Right, but it still would have been a nice touch to kind of up that intensity a little bit there for that
Right.
scene. Like, is Kirk, getting too obsessive here? Is he risking everybody's life to, but
But then in later
Right.
episodes, they're going warp 12 too.
yeah.
Yeah, what's the fastest that incarnation of the ship went? Was it? It was warp 12.
Yeah, I think it was when the M5 unit was.
It was like warp 9. Or
No. It wasn't it when the little robot dude
Nomad?
Nomad went in and he said these engines are inefficient and he made
Right.
them, and they said you're going too fast, it can't handle that speed, and he had to slow it down.
Oh, maybe it was Nomad.
Yeah, but he went down there and he was messing with the
And they had
Yeah.
to tell him, "Yo, dude, stop! The ship's gonna
Yeah,
get."
the structure
it's
can't
gonna
take it.
explode. Yeah.
You know.
Which you would think Nomad would know that, which showed he was flawed anyway.
That's right.
That's true.
Even though
I
we're
love
not,
how
talking,
Kirk
we're
could
not
always.
talking about that episode.
That's
so
a third mistake. You must sterilize.
I always love Kirk was the master at outthinking computers in this
Oh
series.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Andrew.
lizards.
Yeah. And you know, you saw that in the very first episode appeared in when he was playing chess with Mr. Spock.
That's
You know?
right.
And he says, "Are you sure you don't know what
Yeah. Annoyed. He's an annoyed Spock.
annoyance?" Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Because his moves were so illogical, according to Spock, right? He couldn't
Right,
predict
right.
what he was gonna
Your
do.
move should have been, you
Yep,
know,
he beat him. He beat him in that game.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Kirk
And
always
Spock-
beat him.
Spock was pissy because Kirk's strategy was unorthodox and not
Right.
logical. So he
And that's
couldn't-
what made Kirk such a great captain. And we saw that is that Spock's logic failed him in Galileo 7
right.
because he didn't have the instinct that Kirk had.
Well, he didn't trust the instinct, he did because he relied so much on logic.
Yeah.
He had it. He
Taking
had the
down
instinct. He
Stark.
had the instinct at the very end to push the button and light the flares. You know what I mean? That was his instinct kicking
Yeah.
in. But it took
Well, yeah, you could also say it was desperation at that point.
yeah, but it was a calculated, well, maybe uncalculated risk, which relies on
That's a
instinct.
loud door.
It's creepy.
Frankenstein.
We live in a haunted house.
Who lives in this room?
James Whale's house.
Oh. I thought it was interesting what you said about them wearing the long underwear. And the boots being like, I did not notice that. I never looked. As many times as I've seen that episode, I've never noticed that. So now I got to go back and look at it again.
Yeah, where do you see it?
Long boots?
It's
What are you
very
talking
evident because Kirk always has the heels.
Yeah.
You know.
He is a shrimpy dude. I mean, so they probably needed to heighten him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Why? What is it with all these movie stars that are short? Like Tom.
We
Cruise?
talked about this.
We did. I know. Robert Downey Jr.
It's because, well, that's because everybody that's like tall and big is
Their
usually
heads
playing,
get cut off by
they're playing sports. And the wimpy nerds that are tiny can't do anything. So like
I don't know if it's that. I wonder if it's something to do with the camera, like that something to do with the body dimensions or something that just makes them more photographable.
Well, we
You think?
talked about this on another show one time about head size. You know,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you look at Humphrey Bogart and say James Cagney; those guys had heads of guys that were like 6'2", 6'3", but the Cagney was like 5'4", 5'5".
Yeah.
The Bogart was maybe 5'8".
Steve McQueen was short. James Dean was short. They're all short
Right.
dudes.
Those guys didn't have the big Hollywood heads, though.
They're all tall to me.
Well,
Well, you're 2 feet tall.
Alan Ladd was like 5'5".
Yeah, he was tiny.
Oh yeah, and when you watch Shane and he's talking to Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson was like 6'2", and
Yeah.
they're looking eye to eye, but their belt levels are like this.
Somebody standing
Yeah,
up.
if you see, there's pictures of Robert De Niro,
Oh, he's
He's little.
off the set shot, and he's got his
with the shoes
platforms
Yeah.
on that big to make
Yeah.
him look smaller.
Well,
to
there's
make him
pictures
that
of
much
Robert
taller
Downey
than
Jr.
Pacino, who's also
in
small.
Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers, and his boots are like this tall.
Yeah,
right.
Short too.
yeah.
But then again, like Ben Affleck is kind of tall, I think, but
He's
Yeah.
6'4", I think.
And Clint.
6'4".
Yeah, I think so.
Clint Eastwood is tall. I saw
Clint
him at
Eastwood's
Coachella, and
6'4".
I was like,
And Eastwood's my height. He's 6'1".
he's tall.
Well, he was 6'4" back in the day.
Was he?
Now we don't.
Well, that's what they say. I don't believe any of that stuff because if you're 6'2" in Hollywood, you look like you're 6'6" compared to everybody else. So you can never trust. I mean, Clint Eastwood's tall, obviously,
Mhm.
but I have to stand next to these guys because they're never as tall. I mean, I've stood next to basketball players and are like dude, you're not 6'6". You're barely taller than me. You know what I mean? Everybody lies about their height. So you can
Yeah,
never
but you're
tell.
a giant, so it's not.
Oh, I met Chuck Connors, who was, before he was an actor, he played for the Boston Celtics and played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He was 6'5".
That's tall. I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is
Oh,
seriously-
how tall was the Gorn?
He's a little bit taller than Shatner, so about
5'4".
5'4".
Shatner was
Platform.
4'9".
Well, it's funny you brought up how cold it was when they filmed there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's because I was sitting there when I was watching the episode the other night. I was like, man, it must have been hot in that Gorn suit out there. But if they were filming during a time of year where it was cold, he probably was okay. But could you imagine out there being like in 100-degree heat in that Gorn suit?
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
That would have sucked.
Well, because it was basically a neoprene. It was a diving suit, and then the muscles were put on it. I mean, I've worn neoprene knee wraps for weightlifting,
Mhm.
and your freaking knees are just sweating like crazy.
Well, that's what they used in The Creature from the Black Lagoon too, I think.
Was
Yeah,
it
and that was
neoprene?
in Florida when they filmed some of that. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I can imagine.
And then they just put a mask over it with fins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because they filmed him underwater a couple times.
Millicent Patrick designed that.
Yeah, I just was seeing pictures of her
Yeah.
working on that. That's pretty interesting. Who designed the Gorn suit? Do we know?
Hua Chang.
Okay, that was a
It's funny that would be, not to sound, but Hua Chang designed it, and it does look kind of like Godzilla, which, the Japanese
except he doesn't have the thunder thighs, which I was grateful for.
has a similar sort of look to him in a way.
Yeah, there
I
was.
like that. This is going to sound stupid, but I love the knees and elbows on that Gorn suit. I mean, instead of just being
Where
like
did he
smooth
get that?
rubber, they actually textured it up.
Where did he get that obsidian spike? I mean, we never saw
On the ground.
I mean,
Wasn't he fashioned it?
Yeah,
No, he fashioned it with a rock. Remember,
Did
was
he?
chipping away.
Yeah, we don't know where. Yeah, he was working on it, but I don't know where he got that. I mean, maybe he just found
He
it.
just found a piece of, and he was just chipping away at it, making a point to it.
Yeah. So
There.
Art of Roy says, I saw Arnie, Bruce Willis, and Stallone in Florida at a Planet Hollywood opening. All of them shorter than me. Stallone is especially short. I'm 6'4".
well, if you're 6'4",
Yeah.
you were a giant compared.
Yeah,
to
I took a picture next to the Terminator display, which is patterned exactly at Arnold's size, and he wasn't as big as I thought he would be.
I met Arnold in 1982 when he was working on. He was filming Conan the Destroyer, and he was at a gym opening in Cocoa Beach, and I stood right next to him, and as he was signing one of my Frazetta Conan books, and he was signing it, and I'm standing next to him. My buddies are behind me, and I went like this by his bicep because he's signing it. And I'm like, the fucking bicep was like this big, and he was at least probably 6'1" at the time.
He was 6 feet, I think.
Yeah,
That
at
was
the time. They list him at 6'2".
Yeah, but
during his peak.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so. And I don't believe that Lou Ferrigno's 6'5" either, because I mean, now granted, he's older and a little bit hunched over, but
Yeah.
he's more in that 6'3" range. And if Arnold was 6 foot,
but you're not looking at them and meeting them in their prime.
Lou
That's
Ferrigno actually spotted me in a bench press, and because we were
Who did?
Lou Ferrigno. We were at a con in New Orleans, and he was a guest, and I went into the gym in the morning, and he was in there. It was me, him, and some other actor, the three of us, and we were just standing there talking and stuff, and I had the bench press, and he spotted me on the bench press, and he was probably 3 or 4 inches taller than I was.
Okay, and you're how tall?
At that time, I was 6'1". I'm about 6.5 right now, 6'1.5".
I know I shrunk too. I was really
I was
pissed.
actually taller. I was 6'1.5" or something, but I shrunk like an inch since I got older.
Dude,
That
I went
sucked.
to the doctor recently and they measured me and I was 6'1.5", and I about started crying because I used to be 6'2 1/4".
Yeah.
Aw.
And it didn't seem like it was that long ago. And
Changes.
yeah, just like I went to the chiropractor and everything. It pulled my neck, make me taller again, but it didn't work.
I want to do that so bad.
My
The
dick,
doctor lied, Aaron. Just
the
keep
older I get, the bigger my dick gets. It's like 4 inches bigger than
Wait a minute, that hasn't
Oh
happened to
my God.
me. What the heck? That hasn't
Just
happened.
big. Which
Oh.
makes it.
Geez, I didn't know that would happen. Or it was supposed to happen.
You stretch it enough times over the years.
Yeah, I want to get back to Art of Roy's comment about Stallone. There's a great book by William Goldman, the great screenwriter. It's What Lie Did I Tell Last? Adventures in Hollywood, and he's obsessed with the heights of or was before he passed away. He was obsessed with the heights of celebrities, and so he was at this Hollywood party, and he was in the pool, and Stallone was in the pool. And so William Goldman says to himself, shit, there's no way he can't hide his height here, because he knew how tall he was. So he ambled on over to the edge of the wall where Stallone was and stood by next to him. And then the next sentence is in the book is 5'7".
Stallone was amazing because if you go back to like Lords of Flatbush, that movie he was in, he looked huge in that movie, and he was only 5'7", 5'8", but he looked huge. Same with
Look at him next to Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler, I know. It was so weird to see.
I mean, because Winkler's not big,
he's tiny. He's another.
but he's short too.
Yeah.
So he looks short, and when you put Stallone next to him.
Yeah. Well, Perry King was in that, and Perry King is fairly tall. He was taller than Stallone, but it just I would have never guessed that Stallone was that small after seeing him that and the first Rocky. Although Carl Weathers was towered over him in Rocky. So
yeah, I mean, Carl Weathers played for the Los Angeles Rams, professional football play. Wasn't it the Rams? Didn't he play for
yeah, I think that's right.
the Rams?
You're frozen there, dude. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I saw that. Am I back?
Yes. You're back and better than ever, Grant.
Didn't Weathers play for the Rams?
I think he did.
Imagine what a Gorn football team would be like.
Well,
very slow.
Yeah, they're just walking around the field like real slow.
Yeah,
and the football's one of those giant boulders.
Go out, button hook.
Gorn's back.
I'll hit you at the 50-yard line.
And then they score a touchdown. They come up to each other real slow and they jump and do the chest bump.
Oh, it's good stuff. Everybody has a Gorn impersonation, right? It's like everybody has a John Wayne and everybody has a Gorn.
The Gorn cheerleaders are look like Gorns, but they have lipstick on. Big rock pom-poms.
Like the female gremlins.
They're kicking their legs, but it takes them like 5 minutes to get the legs.
But the Gorns suck at baseball. The fastball comes in there like.
They charge the mound, but it takes a half hour to get out there.
And they're using just a wooden bat, and the boulder breaks the bat every time they go through.
6, 4, 3 double play.
Oh,
the games are like an event because they take at least 2 days to finish because when somebody scores a run, it takes them 5 minutes to get to the base.
Yeah. Well, when they argue and have a bench clearing brawl, that takes a week.
Bench clearing brawl. Yeah.
The guys are coming out from the bullpen. It takes them a week to pound.
Right. And one of the guys and the reason that one of the brawls starts is because one of the Gorns has a T-shirt with Shatner's face on it. I'm with Kirk, and it starts a brawl.
You lost.
Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do we ever talk about the episodes on this show? I don't think we do.
Sometimes we do.
Well, we're talking about the episode
We
tangentially.
are in our own way.
Yeah.
Intermittently.
Was the recording device they used, were those like hair trimmers?
Yes,
That's what it looked like.
they were.
Yeah.
What other sports could the Gorn do?
Ron, he's
Rugby.
Like imagine trying to dunk like Jordan.
Well, we know they're no good at boxing because they're like,
Yeah. You couldn't hurt him though. You
They
couldn't
would do good at that power slap competition.
yeah, power slap. Yeah, yeah. That's
Gorn,
there we
Gorn,
go.
let's start it. Gorn power slap.
Gorn power slapping. Yeah.
That's
No,
the
you know
thing,
they-
man. It's like you can't generate any power with that speed.
I
That's
know.
right.
How strong you are. Kirk
They
could
couldn't
just
arm
take it.
wrestle though. They could arm
They
wrestle.
should
a
have
little bit.
just had Kirk standing there, and the Gorn just keep doing that. He just keeps ducking, like until the Gorn just got frustrated and gassed out.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, in Kirk's defense, though, I don't think he didn't really understand how strong the thing was until that's why he tried to body kick it, and the guy grabbed his leg and threw him against the rock. And at that
I'm
point, you're
surprised
going,
they didn't just rip his leg off right there.
yeah, he was like, okay. I think
But you
maybe
know
it
what?
shouldn't be-
Lizards are very fast. I don't understand why this lizard was so damn slow.
Well, they could make an excuse. It was the gravity on that planetoid or something. You know, who knows?
Are we going with that? Okay.
Plausible.
Why not? Why not? It's as good as anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man. But this
Okay.
is a classic episode. I mean, it's been I think it's like one of the top 4 first season rated episodes, by IMDb or something like that.
I'm trying to think of a season 1
Yeah, it's
episode I like better.
definitely one of the most well liked episodes. For
Yeah. Definitely one of the most well liked.
Yeah, other than what was the Balance of Terror?
Yep.
I think this is
Oh,
number 2
I
for
was
me.
thinking of that before. Well, not that one. I was thinking of Corbomite Maneuver because you mentioned the ship.
Yeah.
They didn't have the budget for the ship, but then look at what they did with the Corbomite Maneuver. They had that really cool,
Right. The Viserius.
like the size of Jupiter or something.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's where I was going with this costume thing on the Gorn is like how much of their budget was in that Gorn costume? I wonder.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, I mean, imagine it was that much.
Well, considering their budget
Kirk's
constraints.
ears
Yeah, but
caught
think
her.
about it. I mean, this is a planet
Solid.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're just out in in the desert somewhere.
yeah, they're out at Vasquez Rocks. So they don't have to build anything; they just have to transport people. And then the rest of it is
They
on the
had to
bridge.
build the destroyed base.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually that was a Western set
Like
that
a
already
set.
existed, and they just uglied it up and sci-fi'd it up.
Yeah, I like the spray painted blast marks.
Yeah, black marks on the,
Yeah.
the dirt.
When you see the original and you see that pullback shot of when they're beamed down, and you there's like the background, and you see this hill, and then there's like this giant piece of foil because there were houses in the background, and so they put this giant piece of foil back there on I think in post production behind the mountain to block it out, and it's like you don't notice it until it's pointed out, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
But isn't it amazing how your brain just accepts certain things?
Yeah.
If it's told that this is a world you have to accept, or the escapism is what matters. It's
Right.
amazing how easily the brain will escape and just put that aside.
Yeah. It's alien, so who knows what that is?
It shows how impressionable the human mind is. How
Yeah.
easily people can get fooled by things.
In the digital version and in the modern versions, they took that out and they put landscape behind it.
Oh, then I wouldn't have seen, because all I've got now is that's all they show anymore on like TV is the
I did
digital.
like the little grenades. They use the grenade launcher, and that actually fucked up Shatner's hearing forever, I guess, or something.
Well, it was the explosions, the Gorn explosions when he's running and he it blows up and on the side, and the same thing with Nimoy, and I mentioned it in the
it was Nimoy.
Captain's log.
It was Nimoy. I'm thinking of that shit.
No, it was both of them. Shatner has tinnitus.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm
to this day
surprised they-
because of that.
I'm surprised they didn't have those guys wear earplugs if they were going to be blowing off explosions right close to them. That's
Yep,
kind of
I know.
strange.
But that was a cool effect. They popped it in, it was shot off, and then you just saw that field of energy. I thought that was always kind of cool.
I thought that, and the sound effect that boom
Yeah.
Mhm.
was kind of cool.
And who was the red-haired guy that got killed? Well, it wasn't Kalowitz. That was the other guy. The red shirt that got fried. He goes, Captain, I see something.
Oh yeah,
But he actually appeared in other episodes. So he was like a cat. He had 9 lives, apparently.
yeah.
I wonder if they ever sat around and went, didn't we just kill that guy off 2 episodes again? Just put him in a different shirt. He'll be fine.
It's also, I remember, McCoy, DeForest Kelly, and that saying, could we be in the wrong here because they were in Gorn space and they didn't know
Right.
about it. That's another reason I liked the episode, was because there's always that moral question,
Mhm.
Right.
maybe we're the ones who are the invaders here, and they're just defending the territory. So it was a good angle,
I thought
Like,
that was
you at
really-
the end wondering who was really the Gorn, might not have been wrong.
right. So when Kirk spares his life, it's like he realizes, you know what? I was all gung ho about killing this motherfucker, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we ought to
You
figure
just
out.
need to defend your, because the Federation would have done that.
Right.
If somebody entered, the Earth solar system or whatever.
Well, and here's an interesting thing too. If you remember, when he gets transported back up to the ship, he asks, or Sulu goes, "Oh, we're supposed to be here, and this is over here, and we're so," and he goes, "Never mind, Mr. Sulu, just take us back to Cestus 3 or whatever."
Right.
So he's going right back in. I guess they left a crew there, didn't they, to like clean up?
Yeah,
and,
yeah, like over
They had to go
100
back and pick him up, but I was thought.
I heard that one of the first versions of the script, the planet was called Incest 3.
Oh my God.
It was a totally different story, and they had to,
And that's why the Gorn was blowing it
Yeah,
up.
and in that one, it wasn't called the Gorn; he was called the Porn.
yeah.
That was the porn version.
Yeah.
Incestuous 3. Take the ship back, Captain, to Incestuous 3.
See, I
Yes,
think
the
that would
Commodore-
be your next band
No,
name.
that would be the planet that all the who would be defending that, all the pedophiles.
Right. Right. That was like, yeah.
The USS
what's his
Pedo.
island? What's his face's island?
Yeah, Epstein.
Epstein's Island, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kirk at the beginning is like, oh, the Commodore sets a mean table.
Oh.
Yeah. Does
Yeah.
anybody else think that exchange with him and Dr. McCoy is really weird?
It was very uncomfortable. It was
Yeah,
very
there's
strange.
something about the cadence where
Yeah.
like,
He sets a mean
They're ready to
table.
go get shit faced.
yeah, I mean, it's very odd to me.
Yeah.
The whole opening of that episode.
I always thought it was
It was
them like
the
fucking with Spock.
It would be.
Well, yeah, but they
It's-
were talking with each other before Spock butted in, too.
I know,
Yeah.
but they know that Spock is listening.
Okay. Well,
But
maybe.
the way McCoy says, where he says, where Captain Kirk says, well, rank has its privileges. Don't we both know that?
Like, really? Do you know that?
We've been drilling for oil on this ship for 5 years.
My dog's going nuts. Excuse me for a second. I think someone's coming to the door, and it could be a delivery of Kit Carter material. So hang on.
Go get it, son.
It's the Gorn at your door.
Yeah.
Gorn flakes Lupresti. I always like
Yeah, I
how he
got-
has a painting up facing the camera that he's working on.
Yeah, that's coming out. I think it's done, actually.
Oh. Have to
Yeah,
zoom in
let's-
and see what kind of movies he's got sitting there, if there's anything untoward.
Not for Aaron, no. No. If you mean like there's Nazis in Sound of Music, then yeah, okay, that's untoward.
He has the Gorn porn on there.
Yeah.
Domino's pizza for the neighbor.
Oh,
What?
oh
Rip
man,
my dog is going
that
off.
makes me hungry. That makes me think of
Wow.
college. I always had pizza in college.
Oh man.
No. So, well, let's rate this bad boy. What do you think, Anna?
I would give it like an 8.2, probably.
8.2. That's
Good.
very specific.
Yeah. Good.
There are
Good.
some things that irritate me. That's why.
Okay, that's solid. That's
How come
solid.
we all of us didn't have our names changed? You should have been Gorn Nolan.
Ron Gorney.
Yeah, Ron Gorney.
Gorn Flakes of Press.
Gorn Nolan.
That
Oh, I should have said that Gorn girl or something.
Mm-hmm.
That Gorn girl.
You
Yeah.
guys got to be aware of the episodes, man. Think appropriately. I would give this a 10, except for the fact that I didn't get to see the Gorn ship, which really pissed me off. And the ship didn't shake when they went to warp 8. So I'm giving it a 9.
That's your highest score yet.
Is it? What
I
did I
believe
give?
so.
What did I give Balance of Terror? I had to have given that a 9.
Hmm.
It's right there. It's right
I
there,
gave
baby.
Balance of Terror and the Corbomite maneuver, I think 10s.
Okay, I'm going to go 9.5 on this. How about that? I'm going to go. I'm pushing the envelope.
Wow.
No, oh, wait, 9.2.
Okay. Perfect. Way to go, Gorn Flake.
0.2. What's going to take away the 0.2, or what gives it the 0.2?
I'm using Anna's math.
Anna's math.
Well, it's not an 8.5. So,
What about you, Gorny?
Gorny?
Ron Gorney.
Gorny Weaver.
Sahorny Weaver.
Sahorny Gorny. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I think it's a great, one of my favorite episodes too. I would say, again, the only thing that bugged me about it, honestly, wasn't the shipwreck. It was just how slow he moved, and how that just never made sense to me, because he just seemed like he could indefinitely just avoid him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless the Gorn, I mean, he could have been a half a mile away, you know, and
Right.
just kept going, and he'd never catch him.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have to beam him. The Metrons would have to keep beaming him to wherever Kirk was.
That'd have been
Right.
a funny twist, right? He's running away to keep sending him back.
And, you know, and then until the Enterprise figured out a way to get him out of there. But I mean, I don't know.
Would have
So
been funny if during the fight, like Kirk started doing like rope-a-dope stuff, you know, moving his feet and
Yeah,
a little of this, a little of that,
Right.
running around him.
He should have just done, like Three Stooges stuff. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Hey,
yeah.
Porcupine, get him right in those two big bodies.
Yeah, why didn't he just poke him in those big eyes?
Yeah.
And you know, and if he caught Kirk's leg like that, he could have tossed him up into the rocks the way he threw that boulder.
Right. Yeah.
He could have just, and you know, and that would have been the end of it.
Yeah,
But anyway, so that's the only problem I have with it. So I would give it a 9, probably.
there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Anna. I'm gonna go with an 8 on this one.
0.2 or just an 8?
Just this, I don't do the points unless it's a 0.5. So I'll go 8.
I'm going to use that 0.2 from now on. I like it.
Well, you know, I think which did you like more, Aaron? A Balance of Terror or that one?
Okay, if you had to say what do you think is the better episode, I'd say Balance of Terror. However, this has like a dinosaur guy in it, so I would much rather
That
watch.
carries a lot of weight with Aaron.
It also
Yeah.
has that androgynous, creepy weirdo pedo standing on the rocks. Too.
That's true. That marks it down.
That-
You know the weirdest thing about that guy is
I'll give it an 8.8. How about that?
Okay, 8.8.
8.8. Okay.
Because I didn't like that Metron.
Yeah,
Creepy.
I always thought the Metron was creepy.
Mhm.
You know, is it a boy? Is it a girl? And you know, what's with the ballerina feet and
Yeah, and the way he's standing with the feet next to each other. Like,
yeah, like that.
perfectly.
Well, he was standing like a girl, and it was a girl that actually
And
played.
if I was the Beyonder, I would take all those motherfuckers and put them on a planet, have them fight. I would take the Organians, I would take the Metrons, I would take, you know, the big heads from, you know, the original pilot.
Right.
Throw
always
those brains in from
put them all together.
Scallion. Yeah, get those brains in there too.
Yeah, again, yeah, that would have been great.
Then at least you get some betting going on.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll bet
Well,
20
you get the
coins on
odds.
Gorn.
The odds would be that. Well,
Yeah.
the Organians would be the toughest ones to corral.
Oh yeah, I mean their power is unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah, and then you'd have the Trelane.
Oh yeah,
people
Train.
that-
His parents could show up. What about Charlie X, man? His parents
Charlie
or
X.
whatever those guys were.
all these
Yeah.
god beings, just on.
did they ever in any of the other iterations of Star Trek ever address the Organians again?
Well, there
probably
was an
did not.
Organian peace treaty that was referenced.
Well, that was in that episode. you
No,
know?
but later it was.
Yeah, they've referenced it,
It's
but like
referenced
the
in the
Organians themselves, did anybody encounter the Organians and that like sort of unlimited power? Like
No,
I don't think it
they were
ever
never
happened
encountered
in,
again.
I don't think it ever happened in Next Gen.
They just weren't allowed to go into that area of space or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I don't think they were ever encountered.
Anna, you watch Deep Space Nine and
I'm
Voyager?
looking to see. I don't know off the top of
checking
my
up, right?
head.
She's our-
Oh, okay.
I'm
she's a
failing my geekness right now.
He's a reference.
Yes, they were mentioned in Enterprise.
Yeah, see, I knew they were mentioned, but
But yeah, mentioned. But did
Never
did anybody ever encounter them again?
no, I don't think so.
Yes,
that
yes.
would
In
be a-
Enterprise, they get their bodies get possessed by Organians that are learning about them.
Really?
Really?
Well, but see, they weren't even encountered until the Enterprise. The Enterprise show was way before Star Trek.
Right.
So that's weird. So
Huh.
how did that happen?
Is that a first season episode?
I'm looking. It doesn't say the
I'll
episode
have to
number.
watch that.
Yeah, that's what I don't like is when they take liberties like that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Was that the Scott Bakula one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like why
That's my
would they
second
do
favorite Star Trek.
Yeah, that was actually okay.
I really like that. I thought I love the fact that he took his dog with him on the
Yes, why
ship.
not, right?
I thought that was great.
Well, there you go.
There we go. There we
Yeah.
got it.
and we're done.
All right. we went a little over tonight, and but it was a fun conversation. So thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the landing party. Next week is going to be an interesting one because we actually get the first stinker of the first season.
Which one is it?
It is the alternative factor.
Oh no, I might
Yeah.
be gone next week.
Everybody
I have
says,
to
"Oh
watch
no,
that.
I have to watch the alternative factor."
Uh,
Lazarus. Oh no.
Okay,
Man,
so
what's funny is that particular episode though has personal family reference in my family for a reason because of some
did they use it to
Save it for
punish
next
we
you?
use the term Lazarus to describe someone in my family who was completely fucking nuts.
Oh.
And we
Okay.
would always, me and my brother would always look at each other and go Lazarus, like
Yeah.
because
But
of
you were referencing the Star Trek character.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
But-
Not
Okay.
the
because
biblical one.
the antimatter version,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
was just nuts. He was, always crazy, seeing paranoid and everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
Before I forget, the episode of Enterprise with the Organians is season 4, episode 11, Observer Effect.
Ooh, okay.
What? Observer effect?
Season
That's one of the
4.
Arcadians?
yeah.
Episode 11. And what is it called? Something effect?
Observer Effect.
Where can you watch these episodes?
Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
If you have a
That's the only one that I have it, but is that the only Star Trek stuff you can watch through there? What else do they have?
No, they
no,
got the
well, you
original
have to
series.
have Paramount Plus, but you can get
Yeah.
Paramount through Amazon Prime.
Oh, but so you can't watch it without Paramount Plus.
Well,
Correct.
but when you pay for the Amazon Prime, I think it's like cheaper
Oh,
to do the Paramount through it.
Are you
That's how I
sure?
do it.
Are you sure? Because I've got Amazon Prime and I don't know that I've got Paramount, but we're watching. Doesn't it come with Amazon?
You can get it
I
through.
think so. Instead of going through Paramount by itself, if you go through Prime, you
Yeah.
add it on as a channel and it's cheaper. So
Like I get Max, HBO Max through Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
Yeah, we get something else from there too.
Yeah. Well, all I know is, I watch Star Trek on Amazon Prime all the time, so I guess we're paying for it. I don't know. Shelly
Yeah.
signed us up for all that stuff. So
I've got all of them on my Voodoo. So
I got the DVDs, man. Remember those DVD sets for all 3 seasons, man? I got
Yeah.
all of those.
I had
But
those, the ones that were in the
Aliens-
colored boxes,
Yes, I got those.
Still
and
have-
then I upgraded to the Blu-rays, and now I have them all on Voodoo or Fandango.
I have is
Whatever it is.
this DVD. Whoop, this is all.
Yeah, that's the ones. Yep.
Yeah, the
I
colored
gave all
one.
those to my daughters. There's the yellow, the blue, and the red.
The funny
I
thing
thought
is,
you said the
it's so
North America.
dusty. I haven't watched this thing since.
Yeah,
it
look at the top of it. It's all bleached out.
It's all bleached out from the sun underneath and dust on it.
Oh my gosh.
You got to clean it off right now, actually. But I never watch them. But it's also refurbished. I think it has the upgraded,
Yeah.
like the new.
You can wash it off with bourbon.
Yeah, why not?
It's like Ron Garney in the Old West. Let's get some bourbon and it'll clean it up.
I use whiskey for everything to clean up. Here's to clean my dick after.
That's because when he's really desperate, he goes around licking his Star Trek case.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my poor beard.
What is it? It's
It's
yellow.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Oh my god. Oh, that's funny. Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun. It's so great hanging out with you guys and you everybody in the chat. Next week, again, we're going to be doing the alternative factor. Until then, live long and prosper, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.